What's going on, guys? Darksword255 here, where the numbers may be randomly generated, but the content itself is not. The fusion for most people is completed, and if you were going for this champion, I mean, that's all I've seen is different teams and different ways to build him. And so in today's video, I'm going to show you a team that is a little bit more unique. So it's a Titus team, obviously. It's a little bit more of a unique team. I want to walk you guys through the build, the caveats, and a couple of thoughts from there, guys. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So obviously, the main people you are going to need for this team are WRECKS and Titus. Those are the two non-negotiables. But I thought that I would be obviously unique here. This team is obviously not very, it's not accessible to everybody, but this is the team that I am running right now with Titus. Now, obviously, again, hilarious. I am using two WRECKS. To become part of my team, click the link in the description right now to get Elenaril for free, as well as 3 more amazing epic champions as you level up. Here's how you do it. Log out of Polarium Play on your PC and uninstall it. Click the link in the description, register with a brand new email, launch raid, and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champion. Don't miss out on this chance to get a free Elenaril along with 3 epics as you progress through raid. Click on my link right now and let's get started. And the benefit of using two WRECKS is I have 2 people building his shield, so I can get to the maximum shield threshold that much faster. He also is a buff extender, so buff extender and shield extending, 2 things. So those are the main components. Let me go ahead, and this is what we'll do. We're gonna go ahead and walk through how I have everybody built and everybody's roles in this team. And again, there's a lot of caveats that go into building a Titus team in general that we're going to be talking about in this video, because I've watched, I don't know, maybe 15 different videos from a bunch of different content creators, and they always miss out on this one important detail. And so I'm going to talk about it in this video, like I said, but let's go ahead and jump right into the champions here. All right, guys. I was lucky enough. I mean, I feel like everybody, when the fusion comes, they offer you the 1-star awakening. I do have him 1-star awakened. I'm not a huge fan of seeing, a bunch of videos showcasing how disgustingly strong he is, and like him having like a 6-star awakening. Like, of course, dude, almost every damage dealing champion like this, if they're a 6-star awakened, is doing insane damage. It's just not realistic for the average player, or really a good way to showcase, if you have all the champions that you need for this team, this is how you go about it. Like, again, having a 6-star or even a 5-star soul isn't just insane for this champion. Anyways, back to this. So Titus, there's a couple different ways you want to build your Titus. You want, if you can, you want him in Zeal and Merciless. The reason you want Merciless is for the chance of randomly putting a cooldown. He only has 3 abilities, and you turn this you turn its A3 off. So its A1 attacks 1 enemy. It has a 40% chance of placing a block active skill debuff for 2 turns. This effect cannot be resisted if the champion is under a shield debuff. Whenever an ally counterattacks, team up with allies to attack, or instantly activates a skill. Also has a 40% chance of placing a block active skill debuff for 2 turns. It's A2, and this is where the bread and butter of this champion is. Attacks 1 enemy. This attack is always a critical if this champion is under a shield debuff. This attack also gains a damage boost equal to the value of the shield. Removes all debuffs from all allies if the target is killed. If the target survives, place a provoke debuff. So for Hydra, he does his A2, immediately 100% provokes the head. But, his main damage dealing is this ability. His A3, which is nice and it's cool, places a 50% ally protection buff for 50% and a 50% increased attack buff and a 30% increased speed buff on a single ally for 2 turns. Also fills that ally's turn meter by 40%. Instantly activates this skill at the end of an ally's turn if the ally has no buffs and their HP is lower than 100%. If there are multiple champions on this team with this skill, so there's more than one, it activates once. His passive, each time an enemy hits an ally, that ally's next attack will deal 10% more damage for each hit they take. So you can stack it up to 100%. which is insane. So basically, if you build your allies slow, like if you build people slow, they do a ton of they can, if you have him on this team, they can do a ton of damage. So it's a pretty cool like buff. Like he can obviously assist, but like how we're building him is for maximum damage. There's 3 different relics you want to put on your Titus, which I don't have. You know, of course I don't have it. The big one is the crown is really good. The talon is good also, and then there's an epic thing you can relic that you can get on him too. I don't have him, so I don't really care necessarily. And here are his masteries, guys. Just, you know, went with Helm Smasher. You do not want to go with deterrence if you can. Do not go with deterrence. It will mess you up, especially if you're fighting the Head of Torment and he has a chance to counterattack and he counterattacks the Head of Torment. Not good. So you just want to make sure that when you're building him with these masteries, do not go down that route. All right, guys, showcasing both of the Wicks Wells. And so how Wicks Well works is A1 attacks one enemy 2 times. Each chance has a 40% chance of placing a provoke debuff. For if it's on a boss, it's 80%. You book it out to 100%. So his A1 is a provoke. His A2, which is the buff extension, and the shield growth. Now, what's important to note about his A2, it is the number of buffs. It does not matter. So the initial shield that comes off from your A3 matters about your defense, but the shield growth is dependent on how many buffs overall in your entire team are being increased. So you want your champions to have a ton of buffs on them, so you're increasing that shield value even further. Then his A3 places an intercept, which is amazing for the Head of Torment, because the Head of Torment, if you do not have somebody who puts everybody under perfect fail, which I don't, the intercept will block one of those fears, and it puts 2 turns for it. So it's really, really good. Obviously, it puts the initial shield down, which is dependent on how much defense he has. His passive at the he gets counterattack, which is really good. And this is how I have one of my Wickses built with reflex, and that gives you a 40% chance of reducing a random skill cooldown by 1. So if you do not have Merciless, which will also do, you know, it's a 30% chance out of 40, reflex works pretty well. Now, you want to have your Wicks Well, and this is in general, not if you're running just 2 Wicks Wells, but with my team, you want him to be fast and you want him with high accuracy. If you get him with high resist, that's a huge benefit, but if you can't, you can't. You want high speed, high accuracy. Now, on my second Wicks, I do have him in, I don't have him in 4-piece. Ooh, how do I not have him in 4-piece? I don't have him in 4-piece. I got to change that. That would explain some stuff, but basically you have him in you have him in Merciless. They have a 30% chance of resetting a cooldown for you, which is, again, like I said, huge. That if you could get a random skill cooldown reduced, you can get, or, you know, any of your abilities, you just get them 1 turn faster. I don't have the books to book him. If I could book him, this would be insanity. I would be able to stack my shield just so fast. Instead of it being 4 turns, it would be 3 turns, right? Which again would be awesome. But I'm not gonna. I don't have the books. I don't have the legendary books. I used all my books to book out Titus. So that's how you have. You know, and the masteries are pretty standard. Again, you do not want deterrence. Deterrence will mess you up, especially with Wicks. If he auto attacks the Head of Torment and gets feared, it messes with everything with this team. Jumping over to Lydia, she's going to be putting down the decreased defense, the weaken, and she's giving you 2 buffs, which is good because, again, like we said, you know, earlier, we want her to be we want as many buffs as we can have on all of our champions, so then we can stack them and our shield gets larger that much faster. I don't even really use her A3 here. I only really use it if Titus gets eaten and then I attack with it. That's really it. Now, these 2 champions are important. So right now I have 3 buff extenders and I have 2 reset champions. Now, the reset champions I have Painkeeper and I have Lamonsu. Now, what does Lamonsu bring to this team? And this is what's really important. So She is bringing block buffs. The true fear doesn't matter in Hydra, and decrease speed, decrease attack, and her A3 removes all debuffs from a single ally except for this champion and places a 2-turn intercept stack on them. It also fills the allies' turn meter by 50 and resets the cooldowns of their skills. So you have a Yamako, which I don't. She would go in the place of Lamansu, or actually really Painkeeper. Don't have either or, so this is what I went with. Now, what is also important, you need to have one of your champions either that does Hex or has a Hex set. The Hex set has a 50% chance of placing a Hex debuff on for 2 turns. So her A1 is attacking every single person and has a chance of placing Hex. Hex will exponentially increase your damage that you are doing. So it's important to have somebody on your team doing Hex. I'm just using Lamansu, like I said, for a cooldown reset, and then the block buffs, not block active skills. Painkeeper, I have her in a shield set, and again, this has not been talked about enough, I think, in videos that I've seen. You need a shield set. You 100% need a shield set with this team. It does not matter who you have it on. You need to have a shield set. The shield is so important. It does not work with bolster, because bolster falls off after 3 turns. You cannot extend bolster, which is a huge bummer for me. My shield gear sucks. I have been selling my shield gear because I have bolster. I haven't needed I haven't needed it, so I've always sold it. And so now I'm just really down bad with shields, which is, I guess that's a me issue. But masteries don't matter. I have my Painkeeper. On one of my accounts, I have Painkeeper have the highest crit damage. So she's targeted first. So with this team, and this is what before I show you how this team works. These are the most important things that you need to understand about this team. It is a difficult team to build. You need to have specific champions to make it work. WRECKS is almost 100% needed. You can do it with him having a blood set, like a blood shield set. It doesn't work as well, but it can, right? It's okay. You need to have 3 buff extenders, or you have to have reset champions. You can mix and match. Now, those are the important things. Number 1. Number 2, resist. Every content creator that I have watched make this team has had more that, and they're running like I've seen them run like Nightmare, and they're doing like 20 billion damage. Every single one of their champions has more than 450 resistance, which is that is difficult to do. With all the stuff that you need for this team, you really need, and I'm saying need, for this team to work efficiently, extremely high resistance. You need everybody to be over the threshold that you can't get taunted. You can't get, all of these things to make the team run to be like this unbelievable team. So again, I haven't seen a lot of content creators talking about it. Every single one is like, hey, look, this team is really easy. Here's all these champions. And then you look at their resistance and it's through the moon, right? And then all their stats are ridiculous. This team with low resistance works. There's a lot of RNG that goes into it because I just don't have the gear to make like all my champions on this team be like 400 resistance, and then on top of that doing all these other things. So the person that I have be the mischief target is obviously Titus. He's gonna have all of the buffs on top of him, and since he's in the lead, I don't know, I have to scroll this up because my beautiful mug is blocking it. I have him as the lead. You do not want your Titus to have a lot of HP. You want him to have as much defense as possible. HP actually ends up hurting him for his multipliers for his A2, which is a bummer because he's giving himself, I think it's like 30% HP as the lead, but you have to have him as the lead because how the computer, the AI works with this auto battle, whoever is in the lead is getting all of the intercept. So whoever is in your lead is getting focused with the intercept. So what I could do, which would be quote unquote preferable, would be have WRECKS be the lead and have him with high resist. So his buffs are never getting stripped, but I don't. So I have somebody that with higher crit damage, which is, I think one of my Wicks wells is built to be eaten first. He has higher damage than my Titus. Now, for the tunings for this build, again, this is how we want to run it. You want to have one of your Wickses go first and put down the Codex. But you're really, again, you're going to be focusing the Tempest of Knowledge, and then you want to delay your cooldown reduction by 1 turn. So I just have her attack with her A1 first. Lydia obviously you want to always constantly be putting these buffs down. All right, let me go ahead. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of this run so you can get a general idea of how it works. Now, the biggest issue, like I say, is since I don't have a Shamal in this team, I don't have a Duchess, somebody who can put down perfect veil. You're going to get feared a lot because of the Head of Torment. And how the AI is set up, your guys like focus it. I think it's because it's like the weakest head, but like all of your guys will focus it and then get true feared, which is really annoying. And this run can be a 100% autoed run, right? I've only run it auto. The most that I have done, kind of like paying attention, is more than I think the most I got was like 300 million damage on brutal, which is the most that I've ever done with a team. Well, obviously other than my my lizard team with Teox, that is as much like this team is more damage than my other teams. You can get up to the billions with damage if you have the right gear and the right champions. But as you guys are seeing here, every time Wicks goes either one and does his A2, the shield is growing. Now, obviously, I wish I could get more buffs on all my guys, but unfortunately, this is like I said, the best that I can kind of come up with. Now, like I said, there's a bunch of creators. I've been really watching Bronco. He's been having so much fun with Titus and making teams and such. But I just think that, you know, looking at it, all of his champions are all like really high resist, and like he has a Krisk in there. So it's just like really sad. Or like for me, I don't have Emmerich, which is really sad. So like this team is a little bit harder because I don't have that champion. I don't have great buff extended champions, so I just am lucky and have 2 Wickses, and so that it fills that role. So it's an interesting build for sure. But as you guys are seeing, look at that, dude. We just killed that Hydra head, like bam. And we're stacking. We're stacking. So this shield we'll get to the I think it's 1,000,000,000% or a billion points for the shield that is maxed out. So we'll get there very quickly because both of my Wickses are dropping that the increased shield. I did run this yesterday. So this is the Hydra rotation 1. And Hydra rotation 1 is one of the hardest rotations because of the Head of Torment, the Head of Wrath, and obviously you have the Mischief Head as well. This is a very difficult rotation, which is good because I wanted to showcase this with a harder rotation. Now, like I said, I did test it, and as you can see here, guys, look at how many times I'm just getting feared on feared on feared. It's very annoying, but what can I do? What can I say, right? But like we'll let me go ahead and we'll fast forward to the point that our boy over here has a pretty decently large shield, and you guys will be able to show, like I'll be able to show you guys how much damage he's actually chumping out with. All right, guys. So our shield, pretty chunky right now, right? Pretty chunky. Let me show you guys how much it's gonna absolutely just nuke so hard. We're gonna hit this, boom, 6 million right there. It just absolutely obliterates him. And like I said, the longer this run goes on, just the amount of damage his A2 will do, it will just grow until you hit that cap, that limit. The most that I have seen him do on even including just like a downed head, I think it was like 27 million. And then if you have Hex, that is spread across all of the different heads. I've gotten some really bad, honestly, RNG this round because he's getting eaten second. Like after you're the first person on your team gets eaten, it's RNG really from there, which is again really annoying. So you'll have runs like that. He will go, the entire Hydra will go through every single person, and then he will be last. Unbelievably lucky if you can get that. The great thing about the double wicks team, guys, is when he gets eaten, which is inevitable, you can stack the shield really, really quickly because of the 2 wicks wells. So it's not a death sentence with him being eaten, which is nice. He is gonna get eaten next turn, so we'll end the runs. But that is pretty much the long and short of how the team works. And again, I'm just hand doing it because I'm talking right now. But you know, you can full auto this. And like I said, the most that I've gotten is like 300 something billion damage. I really should have kept it the showcase, and maybe I'll put a screenshot of one of the runs I have in this video at the end right here, guys. But did you guys end up going for the fusion? Did you have you tried to build like these crazy teams? I mean, I'm gonna go over, I actually have a video that will be coming out soon. It's another for kind of like crazy build with Titus. It's very interesting. That will be coming out. Also, I did not have enough like kind of like resources to showcase him in Chimera, so this video is primarily going to be with him in Hydra and kind of like this weird double wicks team. So you'll have to let me know, guys, what you think of this team, of Titus himself, and I will see everybody in the next video.